In the meantime, we do want to remind you about the Father's Day sale at omahasteaks.com. So if you go to Omaha Steaks, if you're looking for the perfect gift for dads, this is a no-brainer, easy peasy. Get them some stuff to grill at omahasteaks.com. And if you use code CHICKS, you're going to get $30 off of your order at omahasteaks.com.
I was fully prepared
Welcome
to do
back.
that. I just wanted to get out of that. I just wanted to get out of the Omaha Steaks mention so bad.
That is so mean to Omaha Steaks. I couldn't wait to talk about them.
I'm sorry.
So there.
My God. It's like, I need to do something about this possessed microphone.
That's what I said.
Sorry, you guys.
Like,
hello, everybody. Good morning.
We're going to have to do something about that.
So
anyway,
sorry,
there's a minimum order required, but if you go to omahasteaks.com and use code CHICKS, you're going to get $30 off that order, and you can put together your own special Father's Day package based on whatever the dad in your life likes best. So easy peasy Father's Day present, omahasteaks.com.
You should do it. I ate all the Omaha Steaks this weekend. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's because I ate everything. It was like, Daisy, calm down on the Omaha Steaks. All right. Also, you guys should become local supporters because they're not dirty commies over there. You should do that. You don't want to be a dirty commie. Go join locals. Have you guys noticed? Seriously, I have a zit. I have a menopausal zit. It makes me look like Cindy Crawford, right? Doesn't it?
Nobody can see it.
It's.
I mean, I can't see it. Maybe if I embiggen the screen, maybe I can
don't
see
do
it.
that, please. For the love of everything that's holy, do not embiggen the screen.
You know, you're like being casted to some people's TVs right now, and they're like zooming in,
like HGTV, and they're like, "Oh no, it's not Cindy Crawford at all, Daisy. It's not." Okay,
you had us going there for a second.
Another thing I wanted to mention really quick. If I may, please, personal privilege. Nevada Democrats just passed a law that would penalize school boards that ban men from participating in women's sports and using women's locker rooms. So there was legislation passed on Friday. There's an amendment to the legislation that the Democrats kind of weaseled their way in there, and they put an amendment in this legislation that will seek to fine schools $5,000 per day if those schools banned men from participating in women's sports. So this is like, I think it's Assembly Bill number 423, which had already passed with unanimous bipartisan support. But the amendment is what receives 0 GOP votes because we actually give a crap about women and girls. Democrats do not. Democrats passed it with full support. And that's what's going to penalize the schools. So this is not going to become law, I don't think, because Republican Governor Joe Lombardo is going to have to sign it. But it concerns me, and I'm bringing it up to you guys really quickly because this is the kind of stuff the Democrats are doing to our women and girls. And if the Republican governor was not there, it would pass. So we should be concerned about this bill. So just keep that in mind, is that Republicans care about women and girls. Democrats do not. Make sure that you are sharing this kind of stuff on your social media and let everybody know the Democrats hate women and girls. Let everybody know that. Okay. Okay. Good morning, everybody. There we go.
Also, there's a lot of news to get to, but not a huge number of videos. That we do have a lot of videos to get to too, but there's so much news to talk about before we even get to videos, namely that the debt ceiling bill passed the House, and it passed with a vote of, what was it? 314 yeses to 117 no's, or nays, as they like to say on the House floor, yays and nays. So 314 yays, 117 nays, and 165 Democrats voted in support of the debt ceiling bill. 71 Republicans voted against it. And then when you took all the yeses, then there were obviously plenty of yes votes to get it passed. Now it's got to go to the Senate. You know, we'll see what happens there. I'm assuming it'll be pretty easy ride in the Senate. Joe Biden will sign it, and then we will avoid the default. So that long, dramatic, long-ass story that we've been talking about for weeks seems to be finally coming to an end. And I don't think everybody's going to be happy about it. That's kind of how a divided government works. And so we're just going to keep on spending, but we're just going to spend a little slower.
It's going to be business as usual. Right?
And we'll have some analysis about that from Stephen Miller in just a bit. But we also have some other headlines to tell you about, namely Project Veritas planning to sue or is suing James O'Keefe.
Unreal.
And the reason that they're suing him is so completely bat crap. They are suing him for having his new company, OMG, right? O'Keefe Media Group. They're suing him for basically starting another company when he's still employed at Project Veritas. Their lawsuit states, we never fired him. So therefore, he's like in breach of his employment contract because he's like off competing with us when we never fired him. Now, granted, they haven't paid him, right? They're not paying him to be an employee, but they're saying we're suing you because you can't do you elsewhere. So that's a thing that's also happening.
Like
So
those people, wow, they need to be punched in the face. Like what? So they take his company away from him, basically. And
essentially,
and then they're suing him for not being like they're suing him for going out and pursuing other interests, like to go make a living. Can you imagine? It's like
and he's the one that started this whole kind of undercover dealio.
He is he's Project Veritas. He is Project Veritas. It's just like if our writers went and they basically stole our company out from underneath us, and then they sued us for trying to be chicks on the right.
Right.
I mean, it's like, it's to me, it blows my mind. Like only in America, man. Only in America.
Right? I mean, it's
crazy.
It's freaking crazy as all get out. You guys, Maisie is going back to the vet today at 4:30. I know she's got to get her eye checked, but I will tell you, because even though she's got the ulcer in her eye and there's still eye problems, she's acting just like regular plain old super hyper Maisie, crazy Maisie. And so to that, I credit this, and that is Rough Greens. So we've told you about Rough Greens before. This is a supplement, like a little powder that you sprinkle on top of your dog's dead food. This was created by naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black, and he is all about improving the life and longevity of every single dog. He's been doing this, by the way, for over 30 years, and he totally understands the value of good nutrition for your dog and the kind of nutrition that your dog is not getting from probably like the regular kibble that your dog gets. So when you put this on top, your dog is going to get 100% natural blend of vitamins and minerals, digestive enzymes, antioxidants, probiotics, omega oils, all the good stuff that your dog needs. And the best part is that they lap it up like it is candy. It's like they love it. It is so delicious to dogs. You're going to see improvements in your dog's breath. You're going to see improvements in their coat. You're going to see improvements in how they feel. It's just phenomenal. And so you can try it for free. You can get a free trial bag of Rough Greens. You just have to cover the shipping cost. All you do is you visit Rough Chicks, RUFF chicks.com, and you're going to get your free Jumpstart trial bag. You can let your dog try it, see what they think, see how you think it affects your dog, and you're probably going to be hooked. roughchicks.com.
Side note, those are the only treats that we'll give the puppy. When I say, that they have little treats, the Rough Greens, they have these little bags of like, they look like bones or little sticks. They're the only ones that we'll give the puppy because he can actually digest them. We will not give him any other treats. So just a side note, if you have a puppy, they're great for puppies. Yeah. And that way, and then he'll keep busy for about 15 minutes before he starts destroying my house again. It's a nice reprieve. Just putting that out there.
Maybe they need to work on. We'll have to talk to Rough Greens about making a longer lasting, like a everlasting gobstopper version.
Exactly, like a gigantic stick for the Great Dane puppy. Right. Please, for the love of God, make one that long. Yeah.
Also, I wrote about this on chicksontheright.com yesterday. Chris Christie getting into the president race.
Oh, thank goodness.
His whole entire role is just to go after Trump. I don't think he genuinely intends to be president. I think he just wants to shake things up. And he's good at that. He's good at shaking things up. So that seems to be his path. He's just going to be a troublemaker, essentially. So the memes that were going around about him.
Oh my God. Like the Babylon Bee. What did they say? He's going to eat up the competition. That was
They
somebody
said
said,
it,
which
it
is
was no, it was even better. It was like Chris Christie is entering the presidential race and he's going to eat everybody's lunch, and he's not
right,
going to win. He's just going to eat everybody's lunch.
right. So mean,
So it's just so
so
mean.
mean.
Anyway, but it was. I mean,
Yeah.
I
I
laughed
mean,
a little.
it's funny, but it's just it's so mean.
And
Yeah.
Mike Pence is also going to be entering the race
Why?
officially on Tuesday. He
Why are we
believes that
doing
he
that?
has his path is the evangelical voter, and so that is
Okay.
his specific pathway.
I feel like the evangelical voter is in Trump's camp, don't you?
Well, that's the problem. That's the problem for Mike Pence is that I
Mhm.
don't think he has a path. Very nice
No.
man, very
I think
dear.
his path is selling books. I think a lot of these people's paths are, I'm going to go on a book tour in about a year and a half. I'm going to sell a crap load of books. That's what these people are doing. They're
Well, he's
not
already
really,
done that. So,
well,
like, I
he'll
guess
do
this
it
is his
again.
next thing.
They'll do it again. They unlike us, they write more than one book. Because we know how much of a pain it was. We are just not that like masochistic. Like, I'm
Well, because
sorry.
it sounds like a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. Writing a book is, we actually wrote it ourselves as opposed to having a ghostwriter. We
Right.
did it ourselves and it was hard and we did it in 3 months. And it's like it's such a pain in the butt. And it's like these people, they want to do it. This is what they want to do. And they find a path. And some of these people do the presidential thing. They know they're not going to win. They do it to go on these big PR book tours and make money. That's what they do. Or they want to get a cabinet position, or they want to be
I
some
don't
other.
think he wants that.
Maybe he
mean,
wants to be an ambassador to something, like, get a cush job as an ambassadorship, because that's a cush gig. Could you imagine?
it's probably not a terrible gig.
Not a terrible gig if you can get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's happening on Tuesday. And then in a little bit, we'll show you a video of yet another person who is potentially going to get in the race. So we'll also talk about that. We do need to mention also that Chris Wray has made a deal. You've probably heard over the last couple days, there's been a lot of chatter from James Comer and from Kevin McCarthy that they were planning on filing contempt charges against Chris Wray for not giving them this document that they've been asking for weeks now. That is a whistleblower document about the shenanigans and corrupt behavior that Hunter and potentially Joe Biden were engaged in. And so finally, yesterday, Chris Wray said, okay, listen, I will let you, James Comer, and Chuck Grassley come and look at it. You guys can come and look at it in a secure place at the FBI headquarters. You can come and look at it, but I'm not handing it over. So whether or not that's an acceptable negotiation to James Comer and Chuck Grassley, I'm not sure. I don't know if they're just going to go look at it and report back. I have no idea. It seems to me that they'd almost want to take a Democrat with them just so, you know what I mean? So it does, like, if they did want to look at it and then report back to America on what they saw, they would have the eyeballs of someone else that is not a Republican. So they can't be accused of just like making shit up. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
I don't know. I don't know how they're going to handle that. We'll have some video from James Comey about that coming up. And then Kim Cattrall, who many of you may know from such things as Sex and the City and having a big fat cat fight.
And Mannequin. She was also in
right?
Mannequin. Like, a lot of people know her from that.
Yeah, back in the day, man, that was so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Yep.
But if you knew her and loved her in the original Sex and the City cast, you probably know that she had a falling out with, what's her name? Carrie Bradshaw. What's her actual name?
Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yes. Sarah Jessica Parker. They did not get along towards the end. And so therefore Kim Cattrall said no to doing like another movie and to doing the current series, like the spinoff series that's been happening. I think it's on HBO. I'm not positive about that.
It is HBO. Yeah.
Okay. So the big news yesterday is that Kim Cattrall will appear in this next season of Sex and the City. And so I was like, ooh, I was intrigued because I thought, well, how did they get over this fight? Well, it turns out that she has agreed to appear in one scene without any of the other actors, just in a scene where she's ostensibly on the phone with Carrie Bradshaw, Sarah Jessica Parker's character, and they're having a phone conversation, and that is it. So they must have paid her a freaking fortune. to get her to do that, but she has done it. And so now like that's a big
And the reason
thing.
that I have no interest in that, and a lot of people don't watch that show now, is because it's gone so completely
So
woke.
woke. Oh
So
my
woke.
God. It's
Yeah,
the wokest of the woke.
Porky. She was also in Porky's. Oh my
Oh
God.
my
that's
God,
who
I didn't
watched.
remember that.
Yes, she was like the main chick in Porky's. Yes.
Oh my gosh, I completely
Remember
forgot
her
about
from.
that.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
it's gone so woke. I mean, it's like stupid woke.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah. It's bad.
yeah,
It's
it's
really,
just,
really bad.
yeah, because a lot of people remember that show as kind of fun, and now it's like, you can't. Everything has gone stupid.
So stupid. Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
So stupid. Also, speaking of stupid, apparently Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have decided and declared that they are no longer going to be writing any books, nor will they be appearing on camera in any of their Netflix dealios. They're going to be behind cameras, production type of people, but they are no longer going to get in front of cameras or write books because they feel that everything that needs to be said has been said.
Oh my God. They're going to finally live a life of like privacy that they said they were going to do to begin with. Cause I don't buy it. God, these
Well, it's
people
so
are
funny that you say that
insufferable.
because Pierce Morgan tweeted out the story and then just put a picture of pigs flying.
Oh my God, I love it. That's fantastic. They're
I
so
thought that
full of
was so
crap.
funny.
They're so full of themselves. They're so full of crap. They are insufferable. Go
I
away.
know.
Go
Just
away already.
right? Just oh
Ugh.
God. I mean, seriously, go
Take your
away.
daddy's money and go away.
And then also, we should mention that Trump must have felt the pressure from yesterday and all of the hullabaloo around his attack on Kayleigh McEnany because he deleted the post off of Truth Social. He didn't say anything about it. It just quietly went away sometime yesterday afternoon because I saw it there in the morning. And the way that I knew that even his diehard supporters knew it was wrong is that I kept seeing people on Twitter say, well, maybe he didn't actually post that.
Right. Maybe it wasn't.
I was like, you
there were a
guys.
couple yesterday in here that said,
Yeah.
well, maybe it wasn't him. Maybe it was a bot.
Right.
Well, no,
And I was like,
it was him.
then what you're saying is, it was really bad.
Yeah.
And so you're just hoping that maybe there's an explanation for it.
Yeah.
No, the explanation is that he attacked her and then felt bad about it.
One of his sons probably went to it. It was probably like Donald Jr. went to him. I was like, Dad,
You got to stop.
That was pretty bad. You probably need to backtrack on that one. It was probably pretty bad. Yeah. So I'm sure it was like Homer Simpson in the bushes. It was like, we gotta
yes.
get rid of that tweet, you guys. Get rid of the tweet. Yeah. So they just
Ixnay on the each way.
sort of quietly got rid of that one. Yeah. So
oh my
it
gosh.
was bad. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that is gone. Now, how that will I don't know if that means he's just not going to address it.
Yeah,
I don't know what that means.
The news cycle is so crazy. No, it'll just go away. It'll just go away in a couple of days. And I'm sure his PR people told him, listen, that was bad. That was bad. You need to reel it in, sir. Reel it in in a couple of days. That'll go away. It'll be fine. People will forget about it because there's going to be some other catastrophe that happens. And it's true. There will be. Our news cycle is so crazy now.
Oh my God. It's bonkers.
It'll go away and it'll be fine. And I don't think she said anything about it. So
as far as I know, she hasn't.
I think she handled it with grace and she just sort of took the high road on that one, which is probably the right thing to do.
Well, and I'm hearing too that people are like, the other excuse is that people are saying she is now paid to attack Trump, which I just think is absolutely absurd. No. People are acting as though Fox is paying all of their people just to badmouth Trump. I just heard a big fat attack on DeSantis on Fox Business yesterday. So I think that she as an analyst actually has opinions and is paid to share them. I don't think somebody at Fox is saying, we're paying you a check and you have to go after Trump now. I think she just has a mind of her own and she's paid to be an opinion offerer. You know what I mean? So I don't know about the Fox attack.
I mean, I think they all have opinions, but I think also Fox is probably going the way of, they're also going the way of wokeness. It's going to be interesting to see what happens at Fox. I saw something about Harris Faulkner the other day.
I have that.
You have that today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're going to get to that too.
We'll get to it. Yeah. But Fox is is changing. And
so they all are. And not necessarily, I mean, the Tucker thing was that was bad. That was really bad. It sounds like that was as a result or as a part of the whole Dominion settlement. So I totally am mad at Fox about that. I get why other people are mad at Fox about that. But I also think that people need to be careful about all of a sudden demeaning Kaylee by simply saying there's no way that she thinks this unless she's getting a paycheck to say it. Like, I think that's mean. I think that's insulting to her, actually.
Yeah. And I think for the most part, a lot of the people at Fox a lot of them are conservative. But I wouldn't look to them. I wouldn't look to Fox anymore to be like the beacon on the hill conservative network.
Right.
They're not. Go elsewhere.
Yeah.
They ain't it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's unfortunate, but they took some hits with the Dominion thing, and now they've had to change a lot of stuff. But we'll get to the Harris point that she made about that in just a bit. First, I want to remind everybody that if you still haven't checked out how gold or other precious metals might add to your financial future and savings and plan for retirement, now is a really good time. Yes, we averted crisis with the whole default, but that doesn't mean that the markets are still not going to get shaken up and that you might have some stuff to figure out with your own finances. And all that Birch Gold is about is educating you. So if you text the word chicks to 989898, they're going to send you a free information kit all about what it means to invest in gold or precious metals, how you might use those in your IRA savings. And it's so helpful and easy to understand. And because I didn't at all. And now I feel like I have a really good understanding of how this can contribute to a really solid financial portfolio. So if you just want the information, there's absolutely no obligation whatsoever. You just text the word chicks to 989898. That's it. Then you're just going to get free information, and then you can do whatever you want with it. That is it. Okay. And then lastly, I'm going to share my screen because probably you guys remember about this horrific story out of Oklahoma from January where a 12-year-old girl stabbed her 9-year-old brother to death. And so I remember the story vaguely from that time, and then just being like so horrified, like what kind of a world are we in right now that this is what happens? Well, now body cam footage from the cops who arrived on the scene has just been released, and it's like 25 minutes long. I watched the whole thing this morning because I was riveted. And it's horrific in that this girl, this child, this 12-year-old seems to have no clue why it happened. Like she keeps saying, I don't know why I did it. I don't know why this happened. And then at the end, which we're not going to play the whole thing, but when they arrive at the station and the cops are talking to the mom, the mom, of course, and this is before the mom even knows her son has died of his injuries. She's just like, she's never shown a violent or angry bone in her body. Like, this is not her. There's never been anger between them. They've always had this loving relationship. Like, this came out of nowhere, no reason behind it. And so I just wanted to show the first few moments of it because I was just so blown away, not just by the story, but also by how like sweet the cops were to this girl who was literally losing her mind. I mean, just absolutely freaking out about what she has just done. So I'll play just a little bit of it.
I'm so sorry. Come here. I'm so sorry.
I'm just going to put handcuffs on just for now.
I'm sorry. Just pull up your pants.
Where's the knife?
Sorry, Dad. I'm sorry. I don't know what chest. I'm so sorry, Mom. I'm sorry. Please. I'm so sorry.
It's just too much to.
How old are you?
I'm 12 years old.
Oh my God.
Where's the knife?
I was upstairs in my room and I threw it out the window. And it's behind the apartment right here.
You threw it where?
It's threw it out my window upstairs.
Right up here?
Not right there. It's the room. It's the other room. It's right behind the apartment. This apartment right here.
So where would the knife be? On that side?
Right behind. Yeah. I'm so fucking sorry, Mama. I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. It's some demonic shit. I'm so sorry.
What's your monkey?
Anyway, so that's what that looked like for a good long while. She's just hysterical. And some of the things that may have been hard to hear or may have been hard to understand was the mom in the doorway said, "You better pray to God he effing lives." And then she says, "I'm so sorry, Mama. I don't know what happened." And later in the car, when they're, trying to keep her contained, she says, "Am I going to jail? I've ruined my life. I've ruined my whole future. It's all my fault." And she says, when she's calmed down, there's a moment where she says, "Are the handcuffs really necessary? I'm a really good girl." And it's just,
God.
and then there's these moments where you just hear how 12 she is. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
what a child. And then the cop is like, when she says, "Am I going to go to jail?" He says, "Well, you actually have to be 13 to go to jail, but we have to figure out, like, are you going to have to spend some time at a juvenile detention center? That's a little bit different than jail." I mean, they're trying really hard to keep her calm, but man, when you hear the whole thing and then when you watch her get to the station and she's asking to use the bathroom and she's just such a child, and you just have no idea what in the world would have possessed her to do this. In the middle of the night, she just grabbed a knife and went to town on her brother, and now he is gone.
I have
And
lots of questions, though. I have a lot.
So
of
many questions.
I have a lot of questions. Like, is there a dad in the house?
Not in the house. They're not together.
Yeah. It's like the way she was talking. I know this, like, none of this, people are going to be like, "Why are you asking these questions, Daisy?" But like, I'm so effing sorry. She's 12. Like, why?
Yeah.
I don't know. You know what I mean? Like,
And she said that quite a bit.
She said it a
"I'm
lot.
so
Like,
effing sorry."
Is that normal for her? I'm just asking. These are just questions. Not you guys may think that doesn't matter. These are just questions. Like, is she on medication? Like, what?
There was something about how
many
she was on
questions.
meds, but they were not psychiatric meds. So there's never been a psychiatric diagnosis of any kind, never a behavioral diagnosis, but apparently she was on some sort of medication and then she went off of it because it seemed to, like, mess her up in some way. And so there's a piece of that that's in the story, but from the mom's perspective, it didn't sound like that she was attributing any of this to a medication, because there was no behavioral modifying medication.
Kids,
So,
and from a, just a violent standpoint, our kids are growing increasingly violent.
it's
I
horrifying.
Oh yeah. I mean, she may not have shown tendencies of violence like in her life. Her mom may say that. That's okay.
Yeah.
But like, just as a trend in our society, and my God, you and I could probably do a whole deep dive on this, but like, my daughter tells me in her school, girls constantly fight. I mean, we never like, you and I never experienced that. And I don't remember in middle school as a 13-year-old seeing girls break out in fights in school.
Mm-mm.
Girls beating the crap out of
blurry?
You are kind of blurry. Girls. I never, did you guys experience that in middle school? Like, even in high school, boys would scrap every once in a while. I'd see boys in the hall scrapping every once in a while. I feel like that's kind of a boy thing, where boys would fight a little bit, but girls, we didn't see that a whole lot. Girls throw down now. They do that.
Like, on a regular basis.
On a regular basis. Girls will fight. And I always tell my daughter, stay away. Just stay.
Mhm.
Just, if you see that stuff happen in the halls, you walk the other way. You just go. You get out of there, because you don't want to be part of that. I mean, there's just like some stuff going on. Like, there's just something's bubbling in our society.
Yeah, there's like a whole rage. No, you went away. So it says you're muted. Now you're not muted. So maybe say something. No, I can't hear you. Oh yeah, now you're back.
I was just saying something's bubbling in our society where I just think that violence is becoming more and more pervasive. Like, it's I don't,
Yeah, it's like there's this undercurrent of rage that
yes,
is felt like everywhere, and it's not even just kids,
everywhere.
but it's filtering down to kids, and it's bad. I mean,
Yes,
this is
bad.
just
Kids are angry now, Emma. They are angry now, and they don't know what to do with their anger. And it's like, and it's not. It's being displayed in ways that we've never experienced before, as
yeah.
evidenced by what we just saw. And this is crazy.
Well, and look who kids are modeling after. They see, oh, people are mad about George Floyd. Okay, so they're supposed to go out and literally destroy their own communities and just completely mess up entire towns. Okay, that's how adults sort through their rage now. I mean, we're terrible example. I mean, we're not, but you know what I mean? Adults right now are terrible examples to their kids when it comes to how to handle your feelings. I mean, it's just out of control. Anyway, when I saw that this morning, I was like, well, we got to talk about this because it's, it may not be like a top news story, but I kind of feel like this is important, especially since this footage came out.
And it's just a whole other example of culture rot. I mean, this is people will, poo-poo that when I say that, but this is just a huge shining beacon example of, man, our culture is just in the crapper. It is.
It really is, you guys. But it's fine. We're not going to just be super pessimistic today. We have other things to talk about. We're going to do all the things. Like, for example, we got to talk about the fact that we avoided a complete default, which was going to be that was going to be bad, right? And so Stephen Miller had some analysis about that last night. Here it is.
Kevin had an extremely difficult hand here with just the 4-seat majority in the House, without the Senate, without the White House. And this is a $2 trillion spending cut. And I will say, if you look at who is supporting it, he's got Jim Jordan and Marjorie Taylor Greene out there, two conservative warriors on his behalf fighting for this thing. So we'll see what ultimately happens, but I think that people need to focus on the fact that the way the conservatives are going to beat the left is by notching one win after another after another. Some will be bigger than not as big as we'd like. Some will be smaller than we'd want them to be. But then we come back in the appropriations process and we seal the border. We defund critical race theory. We demolish the deep state at the DOJ and in the intelligence and security states. So we come back again right here in September, and this time we dig even deeper. We push even harder, and we don't take no for an answer. Let's keep marching forward, Sean, on to the next battle.
Dagan,
I mean, I felt like that was that was a positive message, right?
He's such a speech writer.
I mean, he is good at speech writing.
Yeah, he's very good at that. Yeah. I mean, it was positive. So that's
see?
positive. Yeah.
Look at him go.
I mean, in the back of my mind, I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. But okay. But that was positive. Yes, it's very positive, you guys. Yay, America.
Pam asked earlier, why are you showing that tragedy? I feel like I just explained why, but because we can't keep our heads in the sand about it.
No,
we have to know about these things.
Yeah, we had a whole discussion about it. The discussion is that it's, this is our culture. This is what's happening, and our kids, and there's a lot going on with our kids, and we need to be cognizant of all of that. I think we explained why we talked about it. Yeah.
Also, I don't know. This was just sort of a weird news story that I caught on to yesterday going around on Twitter. And I was like, what? I didn't look into all the details about it because I was just like, this is the strangest headline I've ever heard. But apparently Tara Reid, who you may know from such things as being part of Joe Biden's Senate staff way back in the 90s, and then accusing him of sexually assaulting her and then getting promptly ignored by the entire Me Too movement and Democrats altogether, she is escaping, according to headlines, to Russia. So she's leaving the United States because she feels safer in Russia.
It's very, what is it? She's freer there? What is what?
Of all the places, it just is the strangest thing ever.
She'll probably be treated better there, because Democrats have done a number on her here. Maybe that's a testament though, right?
I guess it is.
That tells you something. It's like, I've been treated like such garbage here in the United States by Democrats. I'm going to go to Russia, you guys.
It's just the most bizarre thing. Now, so I don't know her rationale for it. I haven't like talked to her, obviously. So I don't know what's in her head about it. John Kirby was asked about this at his presser yesterday, and here was his answer.
Tara Reid, who was an aide to then Senator Biden back in the 90s, and then in 2020 accused him of sexual assault. She announced yesterday she's seeking citizenship in Russia, and she feels safer there. Does the White House have any reaction to that announcement, given the accusations that she's made against President Biden?
We'd be loath to comment on the musings of a potential Russian citizen. That's really up for her to speak to.
Does the White House believe that her allegations may have been motivated by her allegiance to, affinity for Russia?
Difficult to say. I mean, I can't get inside her head and speak for her motivations and intentions. That's really for her to speak to. The one thing I will say is that the allegations that her life was at risk by the United States government, absolutely false, baseless. There's nothing to that.
She better stay alive, right?
I mean, that's apparently the worry, right? Is that she's afraid that someone is gonna
Kill her.
Hillary her.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's
So-
so she better stay alive.
So I don't know the process. Like, I don't know when this is happening, if it's already happened. I don't know any of that, but that is a thing that's happening that I thought was rather interesting.
Look at his face. Look
Well,
how
yeah.
smug he is. He's
Just
so
wait.
smug.
Oh, it gets way worse, because in this next clip, that sweet, soft-voiced, gentle soul of a reporter whose name I never remember. I think he's from the Post. I think his first name is Steven, or maybe his last name is Steven. There's a Steven in there along with a Niner.
When you say the Post, you talking the New York Post?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I'm sorry. I should have specified.
I
The
was
New
going
York
to say
Post.
not the WAPO.
No,
Okay.
no.
All
The New
right.
York Post. And he's just so dear. Like, the way that he asks questions, he's always so polite. I just love him. So he asks a question by framing it in terms of the results of a poll. And the poll is that was done with the American public is that 53% of the public, including Democrats, by the way, believes that Hunter Biden and his dad were involved in some sort of corrupt, not good shenanigans. Okay. So they're asking John Kirby to address this Hunter Biden stuff. And if you listen really closely, you can hear KJP mutter Jesus in the background as well. But just watch his reaction, listen to his reaction to a completely valid question.
53% of the public, including a fourth of Democrats, believe, quote, Joe Biden was involved with his son in an illegal influence peddling scheme. There's, of course, evidence that the president interacted with his relatives, associates from China, Mexico, Kazakhstan, Russia, and Ukraine. So what do you say to the majority of Americans who believe that the president is himself corrupt?
Wow.
Can I take that question?
The president has spoken to this. The president has spoken to this. And there's nothing to these claims.
Unbelievable. What a discounting asshat. Like, those are legit numbers.
Yeah. And the president the only thing that the president has spoken to is by saying this was Russian disinformation. So, like, he's not spoken to it. You know what I mean?
Unreal.
It's a lie.
Like, the whole country basically the country thinks that you were involved in illegal crap. What do you have to say? What do you have to say about that? Nothing.
I mean,
We have,
and then they roll their eyes and they mutter under
Yeah.
their breath that it's a
Well,
ridiculous question. No, it's
yeah.
not.
We're going to go ahead and just keep taking your money. Keep giving us your money, because that's all you're good for, American people. You know, you suckers. It's unreal how smug he is.
So
What
smug.
a jerk. This is what
Right?
these people think of us. They don't care about the American people. They don't care about you. And it's so alarming how many Democrats think that they do. It's like so many of these liberals think that the government actually cares about them and their families. They really do. It's our side that actually knows that they don't. They don't give one shred of a crap about you and your family. That's the difference between conservatives and liberals.
They
We
care about your
know.
vote and they care about your money. That's it.
Right. That's all they want
care
is your
about.
money so they can continue to have the power. That's it.
Mhm.
And that clip right there shows it.
Yeah.
If there's any clip that shows it, it's that one.
I mean,
Good
it's just
Lord.
complete condescension
Yeah, it is.
to America.
Wow.
With Americans have a legit, valid concern
Yeah.
that this White House has refused to address. And that is a problem. And so
Mhm.
good for that sweet little reporter for continuing to push because
Wow.
it seems like he's the only one.
Unreal.
And then meanwhile, James Comey, for whatever reason, he's back on all the talk shows right now. And so he was asked about this whole issue with Christopher Wray not turning over that document to James Comer. And so, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on with that. He weighed in to Poppy Harlow. Listen to this.
At the moment, it's thrilling, keeps you on the edge of your seat. But I have to ask you first to respond to what we just heard from Kevin McCarthy and what the Oversight Chair, James Comer, and I should note, Senator Chuck Grassley will do in terms of holding Director Wray in contempt. Should he be turning over this internal document?
I don't know enough about the particular document to say, but
well, it's the document, you know what it is. It's got many numbers in it, but it essentially outlines what a undisclosed witness or whistleblower told officials. And this would concern the Biden family, these accusations that have not been presented with evidence, but from the Oversight Committee, the accusations they've made.
Director Wray is a person of principle, and so I'm sure he's trying to ascertain what's the right thing to do, consistent with Department of Justice policy and tradition. And these are the kind of kerfuffles that blow up every so often in D.C. Now it's ensnared the FBI. It'll pass.
It's a kerfuffle, you guys.
It's just a kerfuffle, you guys. It's going to pass. It's going to pass. And he can go back on his moss and do yoga.
And we're all men of principle there at the FBI.
Right.
Haven't you seen that?
Yeah.
Don't you have evidence of that?
So interesting that he's just doing the rounds, isn't it? He's just
apparently he wrote another book, so he's got a.
Is that what he's doing? He's doing. Oh, he's written a book. He's doing a book tour. He's just doing the rounds, and he's doing the rounds on CNN and MSNBC. Has he been on Fox? Has he been on? He's been on Newsmax. Has he been on OAN? Has he been on any of those networks?
No.
No. Big fat no.
No.
That guy, insufferable.
Just ridiculous.
He's an insufferable tree, is what he is.
As we know, the primary race for the GOP is ugly, getting ugly, continuing to get uglier. And yesterday, DeSantis was asked how he plans to address the attacks that he keeps getting from Trump. By the way, maybe people know here, what is the new thing? Because I get the DeSanctimonious name calling, but like, why does he keep calling him Rob? Is there a story behind that? I don't know why that.
I've never even heard that. Is that what
he'll put it
Trump is calling it? Trump is calling him that?
Yeah,
Rob?
he keeps calling him Rob and putting it in quotes. And I don't know why. Does anybody know that story? Like, what does that mean? Because I have no idea.
The same reason that Laura Loomer calls Casey Jill.
Well, Laura Loomer is a complete psychopath, but she's calling. I mean, at least you can say, okay, Jill is Casey's first name.
Yeah.
Casey goes by her middle name, so there's at least a connection. But I can't imagine that Ron is also like, I can't imagine it's Ron.
Like his actual name is Ronald, right? His actual name is Ron. His name is Ron. I don't know why he calls him Rob. I don't know. Why does he call him any of the names that he calls him?
I don't know.
He just has it. He does it on a whim and he just calls him Rob. And I don't know.
Okay. Well, that's a thing that's happening. So anyway, DeSantis was asked yesterday, how are you going to manage these attacks? And for all the people that say DeSantis has no personality, I see it. I see a personality there, especially in this clip.
Thank you so much. So you talked about changing your tone a little bit with former President Trump. I don't believe you mentioned him here by name tonight, but does this mean you're going to be a bit more aggressive with campaigning against him?
So look, I'm going to respond to attacks. I mean, if you say Cuomo did a better job with COVID than Florida did, first of all, that's not what he used to say. This is like new. Like 6 months ago, he would have never said that, right? He used to say how great Florida was. Hell, his whole family moved to Florida under my governorship. Are you kidding me? So some of this stuff, I think, is, look, if someone is saying that, I am gonna counterpunch. I'm gonna fight back on it. I'm gonna focus my fire on Biden, and I think he should do the same. He gives Biden a free pass. I'm focusing on Biden. That's my focus.
It was a good answer.
He has a point on his whole family moving to Florida.
Like all of them. All of them are there now.
Every single one of them is in Florida. I mean, and they all did praise it. I mean, they were all like, it's the greatest place ever. We're like building our own compound here. I mean, it's kind of hard to diss it and diss him when everybody. Why did you pick that state then? So
I don't know.
It sucks so hard. I don't get it. Why? This is the thing.
I felt like you had a little personality there.
Why didn't you go to North Dakota? I mean, I heard the weather's great there. Yeah.
Also, Trump is facing a new controversy, I guess. There was apparently there's an audio recording that has been leaked, and I don't know by whom, but there's a new audio recording that apparently shows that Trump admitted on this audio recording, and it was released by a previous aide of his, who was covering any audio that might be helpful in a book about Mark Meadows. I know this gets totally in the weeds, but in any case, the audio has Trump on it saying that he had a classified top secret document in his possession, knew that he shouldn't, and possibly was even disseminating it. So I'll let this horrible biatch, Nicole Wallace, explain the news item. And then I don't know who the person is that she has on with her. But this guy, whatever this analyst guy, whatever he is saying that this could be the nail in the coffin thing that will get Trump indicted on the classified document scandal. Here is
to all of you. Federal prosecutors have obtained an audio recording of a summer 2021 meeting in which former President Trump acknowledges he held onto a classified Pentagon document about a potential attack on Iran. Multiple sources told CNN, undercutting his argument that he declassified everything. The recording indicates Trump understood he retained classified material after leaving the White House, according to multiple sources familiar with the investigation. On the recording, Trump's comments suggest he would like to share the information, but is aware of limitations on his ability post-presidency to declassify records, two sources said. This feels like a lights-out indictment of any sort of baloney that he's been saying about, I thought them declassified. He didn't even declassify them in his imagination.
If this reporting is true, and I'm trying not to use hyperbole, this is game over. There's no way that he will not be charged. One, it's a tape recording. Even though the reporting is there are also witnesses, so there could be tape recording with witnesses. It involves not just possession of classified information, but dissemination of classified information. That puts it into a completely different ballpark when you're at the Department of Justice examining the seriousness of the violation and whether to bring charges.
Okay, does it though? And if it does, then my question would be, then what about Biden? Because, you know, I mean, he's got all these documents sitting in a freaking garage with his Corvette. So, and he was a senator, right? He was a senator at the time. Am I wrong about that? Okay, so
no. I mean, it's been years.
Right. So I feel like I just don't understand why they want to open this can of worms, because if we say we get some sort of upper hand and we can start, going after Biden for this stuff, why would they want to do this? Why would they want to put him in jail for documentation? This is what I never understood, the documentation thing. Because if they really want to do the documentation thing, we can start putting everybody in freaking jail for this crap.
Well, their argument back to that is basically the level of cooperation, right? So they're saying, well, Biden's the one that handed everything over, and we asked Trump for months to hand this over, and he refused. And so that's their excuse. I'm saying that. I'm saying that's what the excuse is.
I think there's always ways to bend it. I think there's always ways to make it. I don't know. I think there's always ways to make it work for you. If you really want to get somebody, which is precisely what they're doing with, they just hate Trump. So,
well, and the other problem too, there she goes again. The other problem too is that this isn't going to hurt Trump. I mean, if they do put him in jail, it's just going to make his most ardent supporters that much more ardent, right? I mean, I was just saying that, like, it doesn't matter if they indict him, if they put him in jail, it's just going to rally up his base even harder.
Yeah.
So
no, I agree.
If they're trying to get rid of him, this is like not going to work. You know what I mean?
Especially with the documentation stuff, especially because I feel like so many people feel like this is the least horrible charge. Like, this is the thing that, because I know so many people, even in like the comments, and people in our community, they're like, wait a second, but everybody did this.
Right.
All of these presidents did this. So this is severe TDS. This is like the stuff they are grasping at straws with this one. So it's like they're just trying so hard to put this guy in jail because they hate him. It's like, and I think that even a lot of Democrats know that that's the case. So if they do it with the documentation stuff, that will be talk about the nail in the coffin. That will be such a divisive thing for this country. It's going to just throw us into a tailspin. It's going to be so bad. I just think it'll be a really big mistake for them. Really
and if they do it, and it's sounding more and more every day like they do plan to indict him, if they do it, they have to figure out how to rationalize it to the American people. Like, they have to be able to say clearly, this is why his situation is so much worse than anybody else's. And I don't know how they're going to do that.
Oh, they're going to try.
They're going to try, but it will be a massive fail.
Right. But people without TDS, people who are not freaking mental like they are, know that there's no rationalization. It's all based on hate. It's all based on this just extreme, crazy, just mental hatred of Trump that they have never gotten over. They got to stop. I mean, they just.
And where does the leak come from? That's the other question. If this is a Department of Justice leak, if this is a special prosecutor's leak, that's also a huge ass problem. And the fact that CNN is reporting this by saying, well, 2 sources told us about it. We haven't actually heard the tape, but 2 sources have told us about it. Come on. Like, aren't we sick of that kind of reporting at this point? If you've got an audio leak, then pony it up. Let's hear it. Let's hear what's so terrible about it, because this is ridiculous.
Agreed.
Yeah. All right. We have to talk about somebody else who's thinking about getting into the race. Inexplicably, the stage. They're going to have to do 2 debates. Remember how we had the kid table and like the grown-up table?
Yes.
That's how many people are getting in. It's
I loved
crazy.
It's fantastic.
Here's the latest person to say he's not totally ruled this out, you guys.
Have you ruled out running for president?
No, I haven't. It's certainly the field is getting filled up, but I have a different view of how this is going to play out over the next several months, I think, than some. I think we're right now in a very interesting 2-man race, Trump versus DeSantis. And I think Trump, over the next 90 days, let's say, is going to unload on DeSantis, and DeSantis is going to have to answer him back. I think that's what a lot of the other candidates are waiting to see. Who survives that encounter? Maybe one does, maybe the other, maybe both are wounded. I think Chris Christie's entry into the race is going to be interesting because he will be going directly after Trump. And every time he makes a criticism of Trump, the news media are going to ask Ron DeSantis what he thinks of it. I think for DeSantis to avoid simply commenting for the next 6 months on what Chris Christie's doing, he has to have his own unique plan of action here to deal with Trump and to try and take him out politically as soon as he can.
I love his chicken. Don't y'all love his chicken? It's killer chicken, isn't it?
It is really good.
So good. It's finger licking good, you guys.
Extra crispy is my favorite.
It's my favorite too. And the mashed potatoes, the gravy.
The thing is that he's not wrong about anything he said about the reason Chris Christie's getting in. He's going to go after Trump, and then Trump and DeSantis are going to go after each other. He's not wrong about any of that, but at no point in that entire thing did he actually explain why he would be getting in.
Exactly what I was thinking. Are you going to talk about yourself? Or are you just going to talk about those other guys?
I mean, right?
You going to say anything about like why you're running, or you're just going to run and then talk about those other dudes? Like, seriously,
that's your plan?
It's like getting into a pageant and being like, those girls are really pretty over there.
They're probably going to win. One of them is probably going to win.
I mean, don't look at me. Look at them. Look how pretty they are. What in the world? What was that?
Oh my gosh. So just stay tuned because
Yeah,
he
it
might
makes-
be jumping in as well.
But I mean, go ahead and jump in. Go ahead and
He
jump in.
does
Colonel
look like a
Sanders.
walrus. Yes, he does. He does. Indeed look like a walrus. That's exactly right.
Very astute observation. He does, Jody. Mhm.
Okay, so there's a whole bunch of hullabaloo going on with Chick-fil-A right now because apparently people have caught wind of the fact that they now have a DEI VP. They have this whole DEI initiative. I haven't delved into this too much to know when that person was hired because I saw some reports that said this person has been around for like a year and a half. I don't know why people are like all of a sudden freaking out about it. Or maybe not. Maybe this person is a new hire. This is a new initiative. I don't know because I haven't delved into those details. The only reason I'm bringing it up is because Harris Faulkner on Outnumbered yesterday was addressing it at the beginning of another conversation. And so you're going to hear a little bit about the Chick-fil-A stuff, but her larger point is that when you start, because now there's reports too that Fox itself has a trans policy, like an inclusion policy,
Oh my God.
like a gender neutral bathroom, like all of the policies that we complain about all the time, Fox News has. And so they've been getting slammed for that. But as Harris Faulkner points out, we may need to think about why they're doing it. And it may not be because they want to. Here's her take.
What will be interesting about Chick-fil-A is can they do both? Can they, keep the D, E, and I in the front view mirror, the front of the car, because many states are mandating it now. I mean, here at Fox, other corporations, there'll be things that they're going to have to change because the state of New York requires it. So I don't know about the state of Georgia and where they fall.
I mean, that's an interesting point. When you have a state that is requiring you as a company to have these policies, how do we blame Fox for that?
Okay. And that's okay. That's opening a whole can. And then is it like the amount of employees you have? Because this is what really bothers me too, as a business owner, because you and I own a business. It's a very, very small business, obviously. But like, how many employees do you have to have for them to like come in as freaking status and tell you how to run your crap?
Yeah.
I start getting really bristly about that because I'm like, okay, so then we become communist China, where the state is telling you this is what you have to do in your little company that you started with your own blood, sweat, and tears and money and everything. And you didn't make any money for the first however many years. And now we're going to tell you need to have this many transgenders in your company and this many gays and lesbians and this many this and this many that. And it's like, you can't tell me what to freaking do, And then a lot of companies will be like, I'm just going to not have a company anymore. Because I'm not going to have the state freaking run it. I mean, I get so bristly about this stuff. So when Fox is, she's saying, well, now they're telling us, New York is telling us how to run our companies. Companies will not run well if states tell them, if the government is telling them how to run. If governments are going to start telling companies how to run themselves, how well do you guys think that's going to work out for us as a country? So, I mean, companies are going to go under. Do you see how well the government runs? Seriously. I mean, let's all just like ponder that for a second.
Whatever the minimum number of employees is, I can assure you that Fox has it. Like they have gobs of employees.
Sure.
So they're absolutely beholden to whatever the rules are about that.
And this is why we've got to you got to vote.
Right. Because that's where the changes happen, is at the state level.
Exactly. It happens at the local and the state level. This is, welcome to the CCP. This is terrifying to me.
Yeah.
That they're starting to tell companies that you have to do this and do that. The whole point, I mean, our country, I used to think our country was, it ran, with the foundation of small businesses. Like we're sort of like the thing that made it tick. And I don't know, man. I'm losing faith in that because now I feel like the government's getting so big that it's starting to like funnel down instead of us, funneling up. And like,
Well, it used to be based on the free market, and now the free market is not so free.
Oh my God.
So yeah, but it does make, I mean, that little clip gave me pause yesterday because I see the instant reaction by people. Like if they see a pride flag somewhere, they're like, boycott that company. And so, when I see the criticism of Fox for having these policies, now that made me realize, well, sometimes these companies don't want to have these policies. Sometimes in order to run, they are being forced by the government to have them. And in that case, I don't think you can really, then is boycotting them. What are we doing? You know what I mean? Are we boycotting companies that we shouldn't simply because they're having to take these ridiculous orders from the idiots that are in government power right now?
Yeah, you can't. It's boycotting does nothing. We got to vote. You got to vote. You have to get active and do that. And somebody just mentioned the whole video of the CEO of Chick-fil-A shining the shoes of the black man. He's not the CEO anymore. We need to point that out. His son that was from a few years ago. We need to make sure that we all as conservatives, like you're not spreading that around and saying, oh, this is the CEO of Chick-fil-A, because that's not true. His son, I think it's something Truett, Kathy, is the actual CEO of Chick-fil-A now. And so that was his dad that was doing it. And you need to watch the whole video, because I'm not defending him or anything. I'm not going to shine anybody's shoes. I'm just not, that's just not something that I'm going to do. But you should watch the whole video in its entirety and just kind of see what he was doing. I think he was doing it under the context of a religious thing. And so it was the whole Jesus.
And Dan Cathy is super religious.
He's super religious. But anyways, it wasn't, he's not the CEO anymore. It's actually his son who's the CEO. So just make sure that,
all right. It's time for your whack. You want to set this up?
I don't. Just play it. You can just play
Well, I think you need to set it up because it doesn't really say anything. Like it's just like, is there a story behind it, or you just want me to play it with? Well, I guess there's a caption. You just want me to play
you want it.
Okay.
Yeah, just like do the.
Wait, who did you say?
Jennifer AU.
This is
Awerda.
Okay, so this
is we didn't order that.
This is a PTA president, and I can't remember what, I think it's Utah. Okay, so there's this chick in Utah. She is the PTA president, and her name is Jennifer. You guys can see her name. Awerda or whatever. Okay, so there's this guy who, this was floating around yesterday. There's this guy who said that this chick, I guess he didn't like all of the pride and the gender stuff in his kid's school. And so this PTA president had 7 pride flags delivered to his home to be put onto his property. This is the PTA president, you guys. And so these two people that are standing there, and they're actually really nice people. I didn't even realize this was a thing, though, that you can actually have like pride flags delivered to somebody's house. I didn't know there were like companies that did this, but they came out to put them and to actually, have them. I guess you could do this. You could have stuff put into your yard, and people will you can pay them to do this. And so they were going to put them in his yard. Could you imagine if somebody showed up, or 2 people showed up, and they're like, hey, we're going to go ahead and place these in your yard because we've been paid to do this.
So it made it look like he ordered them when he's like, I don't want any part of this.
And these people were very lovely, right? They showed up.
Yeah, this woman that you see right now is not the PTA. That's not Jennifer Awerda. She's just the delivery person.
Right. So this PTA president didn't even have the balls to do it herself. She actually paid these 2 people to come and to, put these flags in the yard. And so these lovely people show up, and they're like, we're here to deliver and put these flags in your yard. And the guy's like, I didn't order these. God. And she said, well, Jennifer Awerda, whatever the hell her name is, she said that you wanted these to have these put in your yard. And he's like, no, I don't want pride flags in my yard. And he has been, one of these guys who's been outspoken against all this gender crap in his kid's school. And this PTA president's like, oh, I'll get him. I'm going to go ahead and have these things delivered to his house because I'm a smart ass and I'm a jerk and I'm going to do this. The PTA president. Can you imagine? The PTA president is doing this. And I thought to myself, you try this crap in Texas. You show up to my house on my property and start putting flags in my yard and see what happens. Like FAFO, right? You don't do that in Texas. I don't know I guess in Utah, this can happen. And people are going to be nice, but you don't do that in Texas. This is not okay. So he was very nice to her. And he was like, I didn't order these, go away. And she actually paid. So she paid to do this. And so people are saying, I would sue, I would do this, I would do that. Yeah. But I mean, This is
I
what
wonder if
people-
he could. I wonder if he would have the power to like change the order since it's him. If he could say, actually, there's been a mistake, and what we ordered was 7 Trump 2024 flags, and they should go to this address, and then just list her house.
Mhm.
Let's
Yeah,
see how she likes it.
That would be that would be fantastic. Do something like that. I mean, I feel like it's such a unbelievable, like just a violation of privacy.
Yeah.
To have a PTA president like come and put all that crap on your property. What are we doing? Like that's what a biatch. And then to know that you're sending your kid to that school and that is your PTA president. That's the kind of stuff that she's doing. Like this is what's happening in our schools in Utah. That's happening in Utah.
So I'll play it now and with the sound in case it says anything of interest that people can hear.
Wait, who did you say?
Jennifer, AUWERD. And then
Awerda? Yeah, we didn't order that.
Okay. That is someone you know, though?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, she ordered you 7 flags.
7? All right.
Yeah. Remind me of that. Can you say that again? What?
Jennifer.
Who was it? Jennifer. Jennifer Awerda? I'm not sure. It said AUWER.
Yeah, Awerda.
Cuts off.
And she did what?
She ordered 7 for
Rainbow.
it.
They just ordered flags.
Oh, sorry.
So.
Can you imagine? I mean,
just so stupid.
I mean, you don't want to do that in my neighborhood. You don't want to do that. God, not a good idea.
and people have raised a good point. How did she pay for them? Was it out of the school PTA?
Oh, I'm
fund?
sure. I'm sure. It's a great point. It's a wonderful question because she didn't pay for it herself.
God, ridiculous.
Yeah. She's a Democrat.
Ridiculous.
They're freaking cheap, man. Yeah.
Anyway. That was some good whack. It is time for some My Pillow talks. Let's have some fun to close out today's show. And I've got several for you. Don't forget that they are sponsored by My Pillow, mypillow.com/chicks. If you use code chicks at that link, mypillow.com/chicks, you're going to get humongous discounts on all of the things. Did you know, by the way, that they still have the cardigans? The nice little cardigans in several colors that you can just use as kind of like a wrap if you need it. They're so perfect.
It's great. It's like if you're in an office right now, you know how offices in the summertime are freezing cold?
Yes.
Yeah. They're really great.
It is perfect for that. That's exactly right. So you'll get discounts on that. You can also get buy one, get one on the MyPillow 2.0. So check them out, please, at mypillow.com/.
I see a bulldog.
We're going to do that. We're going to start with the bulldog.
I see a bulldog.
Because he nods like he's asked a question and he says yes with his little cute head.
Oh my God, I love
Buffy,
bulldogs.
You snore too damn loud. If you don't snore tonight, I promise I will bring you to the beach tomorrow. Deal?
Oh my God. I love him. Why don't you get one?
He totally made a deal, you guys. He made a deal.
I love his face. Mock refuses to get one, even though she's like a big Bulldogs fan. I already have 3 dogs.
You know I have a very strict snout policy.
I know. She's a Georgia Bulldogs fan. I'm like, why don't you have a bulldog? She should have a bulldog. Don't you guys think she should have a bulldog?
She's like very strict snout policy.
She's like, they're too smashy. She won't get them because they're smashy. I think they're so cute, you guys.
I honestly, listen, I think they and all the other smash mouth dogs should be breeded out of breeding. Like they should be extinct because it's not healthy for the way that people have overbred them. It's so mean to them. It is cruel to keep making these dogs. Obviously I don't want any current dog to be in any kind of danger, but man, stop making these dogs. It's so bad for them.
They're so
anyway,
cute.
But that one is really cute, especially because he was like, deal.
He's like, okay.
Also got a sneak peek into what heaven looks like.
Oh my gosh, that is heaven. That is heaven right there, you guys. There it is. And then the people are way far behind.
I mean, look at how many.
There's heaven. There it is. Oh my gosh. Hi, welcome to heaven. Jesus is right behind us. He'll be greeting you shortly.
Wear your welcome wagon.
Hello.
Oh God, I love them. I love them so much.
I love it.
Also, there's a woman that works with very, very exotic animals, and she boops their noses all the time. And now they've grown accustomed to the booping, so they are very used to it. And she can put like her whole hand into their mouths when she boops. And look at how many cool things she gets to pet.
You go. Oh my God, that one's gorgeous.
Right? A black leopard.
Yeah.
Oh, scritch scratch.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh.
Got you too.
He's like, I will bite your whole hand off.
Listen to
That's
the
a lot of
purring. Oh my gosh.
I'll boop you.
Oh my goodness.
So many boops.
All the boops. That
So
black
many
leopard.
boops. I
That
know.
black leopard. I know this sounds terrible, but I would love to make a coat out of that. Is that terrible, you guys?
That's terrible.
That would be the most gorgeous coat, wouldn't it?
You cannot. I forbid you to do
I
that.
know, but man,
Absolutely not.
like a little short, you know what I'm talking about? Short coat. Okay.
Oh,
anyways.
there's Luke. Thank you. Thank you, ladies, for the animal TikToks. They are making my day in this nightmare we are living. Love you from
Thank
both
you,
afar
Luke.
and am thankful for you too. Thank you, Luke.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Luke.
much for that. We
It's
always
terrible.
got to end on a positive note, right? We always
Yes.
gotta. Yesterday we played a TikTok where the woman she wakes up in the middle of the night with all of like her brain activity, like wondering why she made a mistake when she was
Yes.
15, wondering
Yes.
about her kids, all the stuff that happens, especially when you're in menopause.
Yes.
To make you wake up in
Don't
the middle of the
sleep.
night
You don't
randomly.
sleep.
This is similar, except it has to do with temperature. And I feel this person.
Yes. Yes. It's every night.
Every night.
Single night.
Every night.
Every dang one. Oh my
Because I mean, if you're all the way under the covers, you roast, and then if you're all the way off, you freeze, and then if you
freezing.
stick a leg out, the zombies are gonna get you.
Yes, you can't have the zombies getting you. You can't.
So I mean, it's a problem, you
Mhm.
guys. I don't know
So
how you
true.
solve it, but that's a problem. This woman is a complete moron. Okay, so apparently we come in the middle of this hullabaloo where she is being challenged to figure out how to get into the back seat of a car. Okay, so here she is figuring that out.
Keep trying it.
Like that?
Oh my God. Oh.
There's an easier way.
You think?
Oh my God, I died. I was like, there's a
It's a
whole
whole other
back
door. There's a whole other door back there, lady. Wow. She made it through like how she's got to be what, 30? She made it through like 30 years of life.
It's pretty.
Wow.
pretty
That's
amazing.
remarkable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
That's amazing.
That is.
I don't remember what this is, so we're just gonna play it.
If you had a bad day and you're feeling shitty, you gotta get yourself a cabinet kitty. If you had a bad
I love it.
I feel like this is a sign, another sign for you.
I need a kitty. I need a cabinet kitty, a cabinet one.
You need a cabinet kitty.
I'm allergic, and my daughter is like so allergic. So listen, I need a barn first. I got to raise enough money to get a barn. I got to build a barn first. And once I build a barn, I'm going to have like 4 barn cats.
Yeah,
I will
barn
have, like,
cats.
all the barn cats, you guys. And they will have the greatest life.
Oh, yeah, they will.
I just need to raise enough money to build a barn. I need a barn, you guys. That's like my next project. I gotta save money.
Let me see. The last one I have, is it the last one? I do have another I could play, but for sure I want to play this because it's hilarious about pronouns.
What are your pronouns? I and me. No, I mean, what pronouns do you want me to use? Well, when you're talking to me, you would be preferable. Well, what pronouns do you want me to use when you're not there? About you. Well, I'm not there, so I don't really care. No, but like, what pronouns would you want me to use? I don't care. I'm not gonna be there. No, but like, what are your Pronouns. I and me. Look, are you a homo?
Are you homo?
God, I swear. We've gone off the rails.
Oh my gosh.
And people are probably reporting that.
Yeah, it'll probably get taken down.
That's transphobic. Those are actual pronouns. Those are like what they use. We used to actually call actual. Okay.
The last one I have, I don't know if you guys will appreciate it as much as I did, but it's at a graduation ceremony, and this kid, apparently in this class, was asked to write a song. I don't know if this is in lieu of like a valedictorian speech. Obviously, he's a singer-songwriter, and so he was asked to write a song. And it starts out kind of silly, but I got to tell you, by the end, I was getting so emotional because I'm thinking about my own boy who was about to have his last year in high school. And this kid, it's like he was writing he was writing to parents of graduating kids. And so what starts out as something very silly becomes really, really sweet. And so that's what this last thing is.
Testing.
So it's a song?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hey. Last August, I was told to write a song for graduation, like a tribute to parents. So, yesterday I wrote this song. During lunch. I was a little distracted, eating. Here we go. I'm sick of eating half-cooked burritos, 'cause that's how they've been feeding me for 12 whole years. The food is dry, so I know I might choke, but I'm hungry and broke. So reduced fat Doritos and half-cooked burritos will I have to do. I've just been informed that apparently the lunch ladies are actually here today. I mean, it's not your fault, but it's okay. So, I'm just going to skip a little bit in the song because I think there might be someone in the audience that won't appreciate the next bit. So, I'm going to start talking about the parents. Here you go. I'm afraid of what life will be like without you. I'll miss your words when the rain starts to pour. Holding your hand when I feel insecure. I'm afraid to cross this road alone. You've given me strength to move to the unknown. Even though I would rather stay with you at home. Oh, I'll miss when my dad takes the food from my plate. And I'll miss when my mom cries 'cause I placed in state. And I'll miss when my dad gives me tips how to date. And I'll miss when my mom thinks I'm sick though it's fake. And I'll miss when my dad takes our boat on the lake. And I'll miss when my mom sings the songs that I make. And I'll miss when my dad shows me how to cook steak. And I'll miss when my mom lets me cry, and then she wipes the tears off my face. I'll miss you. I'll miss you. I'll miss you a lot more than I'll miss this lunch food.
That's Danny Kenny.
God, I love that.
I mean, I was a wreck when I saw this today.
God, I only have 5 years left. I only have 5.
Oh my God.
I just seriously, she'll be in 8th grade. I only have 5. And so I always say that to my husband. I'm like, this is it. We've only got 5 years left. It's going to fly.
I can't deal. Cannot.
I know.
Oh my God.
Anyway, it goes so freaking fast, you guys.
Blink of an eye. They always say that, and you don't really
believe it. You don't believe
true.
it. It does. It goes so fast.
I'm sorry, Crystal. Crystal's trying to put on mascara. I know. I'm
Crystal.
sorry.
Yeah.
But wasn't it so great? I mean, wasn't
I know.
it?
And Harley, your girls are 44 and 41. We have a 33-year-old and a 29-year-old. And I mean, I remember when they were itty bitty. It goes so fast.
Yeah. Everybody's sobbing. I'm sorry. I'm so glad though that people were moved by it the way that I was. Cause I was like, at the beginning I was like, this is kind of silly, the lunch and the burritos and whatever. And then all of a sudden it takes this turn and you're like, oh my God.
You. It's like, why do you have to gut punch us like that, kid? God.
And then I was like, okay, that's the reason it's gone viral. That's the reason. Cause it's amazing. So Danny the Kenny is how he goes by on TikTok if you want to save it for yourself. Anyway, those are your talks for today.
Yeah, those are good ones. All right, you guys, bring it in. It's Thursday.
You guys, tomorrow is my gum surgery.
She's getting her gums worked on. She's gonna have a heck of a weekend. You guys make sure you're sending prayers up for Mock tomorrow.
Tomorrow's show is going to be short. Not short, but it's only going to be probably like 45 to 50 minutes because I have to take a Valium.
Listen, she said that today. She was like, we're going to have a short show. We're doing
no, but tomorrow I have to because I have to take a Valium.
I know. Well, you take it mid-show. It'd be fun. We'd watch you like be on a Valium. That would be awesome. That would just mean that she's not going to be like as well. Maybe she'd be more giggly. That would be great. Are you getting up? Come here. Come here.
I have to take a Valium tonight and then another one in the morning. And then because they're like, you want to sleep and be relaxed for
sounds
this.
Glorious. There we go. There it is right there.
He's been so good this week.
Don't hit the mic because it'll like totally. I know he has been. He's getting back to his old self. He's starting to get along with Coda. They're hanging out. They're playing a little bit. He's starting to show him like, listen, I'm the big bro. Watch me.
Yeah.
This is how you pee in the yard. I mean, they're,
Aww.
Yeah, it's working.
Yay.
It's all working here. So that's good. You guys.
Thanks, you guys. Thank you for the prayers. Appreciate it. I could use them because it sounds like this recovery is going to suck hard. And Monday, I don't even know what Monday is going to be like because there is going to be a show tomorrow because I'm having it after. Thank you, Michael. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Michael.
But Monday, I don't know if I'll be able to talk. So
we're going to get through it. It'll be fine. It'll be totally fine. Yeah, it'll be good.
We'll
and
see.
I'll just, maybe I'll just like, I'll talk like a lot more or we'll do this. We'll do this.
I'll hold up signs. I don't know I don't know how it'll be. I have no idea what to expect except that it's going to suck and I have to have stitches in for 8 freaking weeks. So, but maybe I'll lose weight.
Stop it. Stop. Anyways, you guys have a wonderful day. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye. Bye, guys.